Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. It's just 1 minute until 3, so we'll just wait for a minute or so. I got my. Let me just open my notes and pull it up before we get started to make sure that I have the topics of what we're going to discuss today. Notes. It's my pad, by the way. Okay. Okay, and it's now 3 o'clock. Alrighty, so on to this half-hour live. I'm planning to go on live until 3:30 today, so that's 30 minutes from now. So let's get started. Um, so to start off on this live, I first want to say to everybody, it has been since 2013 since I have been active on this channel. So I haven't seen you guys since like before Christmas of last December of 2023. So again, I do want to apologize for not being, so active on here as often as I should. I know that probably could mean losing subscribers and my fans get, loss of interest in my content, saying like, "Oh, where's this guy gone? He's kind of like a ghost right now." Well, I honestly don't want that to happen. So I've planned sometime today, right now, to finally do a live to catch up on a lot of things with you guys. So, some things of news of myself uh, and about what's been going on that I meant to do on my channel and what you can expect from my channel so far. Or what you can expect to have on my channel in the future. So, without further ado, the first topic, some news of what's been happening since last December. So, ever since last December, me and you guys know YouTuber Scott Apply Pop Cult Fan, my best friend. Well, obviously he's more active than I am. He tries to do at least 1 or 2 videos and 1 or 2 shorts like every day or every other day, if not. I mean, not only trailers, but like he does not only reviews, but now he's doing like trailer reactions and discussing about upcoming movies of recent trailer releases and stuff like that. And I really wish that I can do stuff like that if I only had the time to, because he's kind of more on the video and YouTube kind of side with most of his life when he's on his device or devices when he's not at work. And when I'm not at work, I'm usually either at home resting because I'm just beat from work. He and I work in the same place, by the way. And mostly my side of my life when it comes to entertainment is not so much this, as you guys can tell. I try to make my videos as epic as possible, per episode. You get your intro preview scene about what we're going to do. You get your intro, kind of like my show credits, if you will, and then on to the real video and then the outro. So, and that takes time. Each episode of that, like many series on TV and web shows, they all take time to make. To craft all that together in a software and in a time and working in timelines and with effects and titles, you name it. So even when stuff is already made, it takes time to process and such, and it means more time to have your device on, keeping up with software updates, etc. So luckily, all that stuff is caught up with me. I just got some new stuff as well, like a new webcam. You can see visual quality is, higher, better than the default built-in cam on my laptop, which is still okay, but I prefer this now because it's just sharper. And probably the speed is smoother too. Well, anyways, And I've also got, new music that I have been doing. Because most of my life, yeah, I meant to tell you guys. So Scott's life, when it comes to like entertainment, is pretty much like YouTube and his videos that he does up for YouTube. He's kind of more the visual kind of guy, for video. I'm kind of more of the audio, and when it comes to like music, you guys have probably seen, if you guys went on any of my social media links that should be posted on my homepage. I mean, I used to have Twitter and I don't anymore because of the whole, uh, Twitter's just not really that, bee's knees as it used to. I think I should still have on there though Facebook. I'm not as active on there though, but I'm very active on Instagram. I think I have my Instagram button on there. But if you guys go onto my Instagram page, um, which you know what, I will put here in the live chat. You guys can look at it. My username that you can find me on Instagram is DJ Cash underscore 96 for my Instagram. So yeah, it's right there. Okay, so that's it. DJ Cash underscore 96, no spaces, all lowercase. You guys should find me on there. I do mostly music stuff on there now, mostly DJing stuff because I'm a DJ now. Have been for now a little over 2 years, 2.5 years maybe now, ever since shortly after the pandemic was starting to ease up and mandates were dropping. It was around that time when I started learning how. And for about a year and a half or so, I've been doing, actual good practice gigs and such, mostly house parties as a practice and start. So, yes, I'm more of the audio side. Scott's kind of more of the video. I do a little bit of some video too, which I have pretty good experience with. I don't really stream my DJ performances, most likely because I had Mixcloud and I had a Mixcloud Pro subscription that I paid $15 a month for the service, to try and stream my stuff and for high, audio quality, so you guys can really hear the tracks on how they were meant to be according to the settings on how I would set it up for actual performance, like you guys were in the room. But apparently, some of that stuff just went iffy. I used OBS, which I think is official broadcasting software. It's a free broadcasting software service application for like Mac computers, because I have a MacBook Pro and it's a little bit older, 2017. So I'm not really sure if my Max year was up to date with it, but I will say something was just not working with OBS. Every time that I live streamed to test out my DJ stuff through OBS and onto Mixcloud, which I've connected with, some things would still lag. The connection, the screen would still like lag, like freeze frame, stuff like that. And the audio would kind of like cut off, like a stutter, like mic on off, that kind of such. Even with high-speed internet and with Ethernet connectivity right to the modem, even all of that was just not working. So I've decided, I guess this is just not going to work. Might as well just stick to the old school of, when I actually am performing, I'll probably just I'll like selfie video myself doing some, DJ clips and like transitions and remixes, like clips of it. And I would put it as a story on my Instagram. That's where you guys can find them. I'm doing like an album of that, if you will, like a volume 1, volume 2, stuff like that. All that stuff is archived on there, so you should find it under my highlights. And so, yeah, that's been pretty much going on with me. And also, um, I've had to also take care of myself too medically because I was having some issue, you know, under in my in my pelvic floor area. I was having some like aches and cramps and such, in the area, and obviously it was not fun at all. So I had to go into the hospital. I had to get an ultrasound session done in radiology, and thank God nothing was out of the ordinary. Everything was fine. And all my lab tests and everything were normal. My examination was normal. So it was just that, the nerves under there too, that connect from your tailbone all the way to the front area. Apparently, they can like cramp in there too. The nerves can get all agitated on that pelvic floor and it can cause aches. So I've been doing these stretches that are supposed to help in that area. And well, ever since after the 5-minute stretches, with the right method and the right one tool that you use, a tennis ball to help push on the lower back and the tailbone, that really eases up the nerves and it really can ease the pain. And pain would instantly go away, and maybe after 1 or 2 minutes or so, and for a while you should be fine. And well, that was me. I haven't had any problems since I've been doing it. Now that I know the right ways, if I do them once or twice, if I do the stretches, if I find time once or twice a day, I spend 5 minutes, so like 10, 15 minutes a day doing it, and I'm just back on my feet or back on my ass on a chair with no problem at all. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. So another topic, yeah. So now I want to talk about things about my channel. So as you guys know, my last video, I tended to release a episode where me and Scott Applier would review the 2023 Wonka film that came out in theaters in last December. Obviously, I haven't had time or haven't had a chance to post that as a video on my channel. I think it should be like episode 18 or 19 or something. I'd have to look back in my videos library. But anyways, that video of that Wonka review, it's gonna be definitely next on my channel, as a next posting video, maybe in the next 1 or 2 weeks or so, because now I have to find some time to craft it together. Um, it was already shot, obviously. Now it's just crafting it together, affecting it, polishing it, publishing it, all that stuff. So, Wonka 2023 review featuring Scott Applier Popcorn Fan will be released about 1 or 2 weeks or so. Check out my latest upcoming post on my community of my channel for the further date and release information. Those things that coming up next on my channel, how I used to do that. You guys will definitely know once I put that in there, and you guys will have an idea of when it'll be there. So that's for Wonka. Now, there's gonna be a new series coming on Disney Plus, and it's a new Star Wars series that, again, in the timeline of the Star Wars universe, it takes place as a prequel, like 100 years before Episode One: Phantom Menace. So before Qui-Gon Jinn's time, probably, before Darth Maul, perhaps, and before Anakin was born. All that stuff. I think that was the time of the Old Republic era, or just at the time when the Old Republic was collapsing. But anyway, when that show comes out, I plan to not miss an episode on that. I plan to either do my own review on either each episode, or when a whole season is over, I'll do like a whole general season discussion live here on my channel about it. And so that will be that. Um, and you know something? I want to actually find out what the name of that new Star Wars Disney Plus series is going to be called. Um, obviously, I'm not good with titles, and I don't really know uh, what um, the series title technically is. Um, so it looks like yes, Disney Plus first episode date sometime this year. We haven't had a confirmed date on that yet of what month or date, but it's obviously known as a thriller. That's its genre, and it's called the um, Acolyte. Uh, actually, you know what? Acolyte. That's the new Star Wars. The new upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series. See, if I can put that in there, and if you guys see what that title is, maybe you guys can pronounce it better because I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it the acolyte, the acolyte? Um, but anyway, its general idea is yes, according to my notes and this, it says the acolyte or acolyte is an upcoming American science fiction TV series created by um, Leslie Headland for the streaming Disney Plus service. It's part of the Star Wars franchise, set at the end of the okay, not the Old Republic era, the end of the High Republic era, before the events of the main Star Wars films, so before the prequel series or before the prequel trilogy. And it follows a Jedi investigation into a series of crimes. So this is going to be more like Jedi and Sith orientated, like leveled. So we can definitely see more content of Jedi and Sith in this. It's not just bounty hunters. It's not just the Mandalorian cult. It's not just smugglers or like slingers, and all that such. There's going to be actual Sith and Knights again that we can expect to see. So far, that is all that we know. So, Leslie or Leslie, thank you so much for this creation. Obviously, according to this, that's who it was created by. Composer Michael Abels, and it's based on the Star Wars idea of George Lucas, obviously. So 2024, sometime this year, no confirmed date and month yet, but we look forward to seeing that. And I look forward to reviewing either every episode or when the series or when season 1 is done, I'll do an overall live discussion discussing about it. So, yes, it looks very good. It so far is getting according to its like trailer and cast and crew, um it's so far scoring around the history, the creators, and what it could mean. If you guys heard that ping, sorry about that. That was my phone. And it looks like it's nothing important. I've been trying to find the idea of what kind of Rotten Tomatoes it's so far getting from like either previewers or by reactors of the trailers. So far I am getting nothing, but we already have some top 3 commenters that have commented on the Star Wars Rotten Tomato ratings. It's a Rotten Tomatoes rating websites for series and movies. It's kind of like an IMDb idea, but for like commentators and or commenters. And so far, the top 3, one from 20 Lions does say, LOL, Disney loves losing money. Keep trying. Well, so far, these commenters don't look enthusiastic about it. And the second guy, Dave K, he says, looks terrible. And then Richard T, the third top 3 commenter says, "Geez, Qui-Gon found the chosen one quicker than I found a white male." Okay, sounds a little bit racist in there, but uh, you know what? I don't care about those. They've got only a couple of likes from that, like 2 or 3 likes. 3, 7 likes total of those 3 comments, and one of those comment only had 1 thumbs down, and I am happy for that thumbs down person. Thank you very much. And that was the one about the racist white male one, and I'm like, yes, I bet he had something to say. So anyway, that was about the Rotten Tomatoes review. It doesn't give an actual percentage yet, maybe because there were no pre-releases of it yet. For like how there are those like special screeners that are going into a theater and they are the first to see a film before the whole public. I think it's called a film premiere or something like that. Yeah. I don't think there was a premiere yet on this show. So obviously we have no idea how this is going to go. And Daphne Kane, Amanda Stenberg, Lee Jun-jae, who plays a Jedi Master, Manny Jacinto, Carrie Ann Moss. So far, I don't really recognize any of these cast actors, but I do look forward to seeing them in action on the screen. So we'll see how the Acolyte goes. So let's see. Back to the notes. Okay, we talked about that Star Wars Acolyte, and oh yes, I think we have 1 or 2 more topics to talk about, and we can squeeze it in the last 9 or 8 minutes of this live. We're down to like 21 and a half minutes. So the next thing I would just like to say that Scott Applier, I mean, if you're watching this right now, you can obviously see in the live chats, I probably had put down my Instagram username. You already had that. I put down the Acolyte because maybe you can pronounce it better. But it's alrighty. The Acolyte, as in the new upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series. So yeah. I think we're pretty much really caught up. 1 or 2 more things, though, I want to discuss. And that being that I just want to let you guys know that, 1, I am doing well and that everything's okay. Nothing is wrong. I mean, anymore. I do plan on going back active onto this channel probably sometime next month in April, maybe the middle of the month as things quiet down. Because I still have to get over Easter, the last day of this month, and I have to get over my birthday week, which is on that same week, and I'm like, oh, one celebration at a time, please. I can't handle I'm not a guy who likes to celebrate too much, day after another. I like to have a day after a celebration to recover, you know what I mean? So, yes, so as far as upcoming series goes, Star Wars: The Acolyte on Disney Plus coming up this week, coming up this year, is one I'm definitely looking forward to. I really should go into those other series that Scott Applier reminds me of. Like, I should watch, Bad Batch. I should give Andor a chance, and which I did. I saw the pilot episode of Andor, and it didn't look like my cup of tea. It was kind of more grounded than, planetary traveling. But I have at least seen the entire first season of Star Wars Rebels. I mean, a series from way back in the day. We're talking like about 10 years ago now, 10 plus years ago. But the last Star Wars series that I just finished of watching their last season, season 7, a couple months back, was the Clone Wars. I still love Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's one of my favorite Star Wars series out there, even though it's animation. But hey, animation's not bad. And I guess it was easier too for a Star Wars series. Probably easier than live action. Live action would have took a lot more time and work and budgeting of money, I'm sure. Um, because every movie was like multi-million dollars, if not maybe a billion, to make. Just because on how amazing technology is and how much all that would cost and all the hard labor and work put into it. But anyway, so yeah, 25 minutes into this, so we got about 5 minutes to wrap this up. So I think one last thing I want to talk about that I just recently have done or seen. Oh yes, the new Ghostbusters film, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I saw that. I saw that yesterday afternoon at 2 or 2:30, the first showtime in the theater of this weekend, which this weekend is the opening weekend for it. So Frozen Empire was really great. I did like how they combined throughout the entire film, combination of, the old generation of Ghostbusters, the three guys, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, and Dan Aykroyd. They were great, except I was disappointed that they couldn't involve, Harold Ramis's image again as a ghost like they did with Afterlife. But it makes sense because at the end of Afterlife, he, separated into particles, floating up into heaven for his title on the screen that said for Harold. Um, because obviously he's been dead since 2014. So my goodness, this year 2024 would be the 10th anniversary of his death 10 years ago. My goodness. So when he disapparated and became a ghost of his image, he finally left the world, and was no longer bound and trapped down on Earth watching after Phoebe anymore. So he's completely gone, and he probably couldn't show up anymore. Makes sense. Um, Even though some Ramis fans were a little disappointed that maybe they didn't give him a title in it, because at least they did with Afterlife. So we knew Afterlife was like the last of him. And Afterlife was like the last project that I think the original director of the Ghostbuster films from the 80s, Ivan Reitman, got to witness. Then his son, Jason Reitman, directed this one, Frozen Empire, and took over. Uh, and Dan Aykroyd still being one of the executive producers of it as well. And for Afterlife and for this Frozen Empire one, I think these were projects that were thought of a while back ago, because it said, according to the credits of Frozen Empire, when I saw it at the end of the movie, it said that this Frozen Empire was written by both Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. And I'm like, really? This must have been a project thought of a long time ago. And I guess they wrote this project, and now they just had to have all these years to film it and get the guys back, and the Cadillac back, all their budgetary stuff that they had for the original films back. They had to probably get the licenses again, filming permits, all this stuff. So it kind of makes sense why these films, Afterlife and Frozen Empire, took time. But it was worth waiting for. My opinion, it was worth waiting for. So it's like, thank you, Harold. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Ivan and Jason Reitman, for doing all of these for us, giving a nice, popular 80s thing, back into the trend zone in this modern era of the 2020s. So Frozen Empire, quickly, we got about a minute left. So Frozen Empire, okay, I'll give it a quick rate. Out of 4 stars, I'd rate it maybe 3, 3.5. Not as good as Afterlife story-wise, but visual effects-wise, much better. Upgraded technologies and such. I mean, I like all the new creations that they did in their new laboratory, new equipment, new, accessories, whatever you want to call it. It was all just wonderful. Soundtrack, priceless. Scenes with soundtrack, priceless. As in great. So in the last 30 seconds. That's all that I have to say on this live, guys. I'll probably do another live soon, probably next month, maybe before or after my video release of the Wonka review from December. But for now, you can go back and view this live in the archives of my lives playlist on my channel. And it's titled by today's date and year. So thank you guys so much for coming. For those of you who watched and for those who would be watching later, I hope you guys would like this. So don't forget to, sometime like it as well. And I think if there are comments that you can put down in this live when you see it and it's archived, I think you can. I think I enabled it. Put down your thoughts on, what we were talking about here today. And I'll see you guys on the next video or the next live. Cash Vault out.